There. Welcome back to the Big Thinker Universe podcast. Today's episode is going to lay some foundational work. And for anybody who's just new to the program, just new to our podcast, there's going to be two streams going forward. One is me teaching things that I think every business owner should know. And then the other is I'm going to interview other business owners and get their insights. So this is my experience. This is what's worked for me. I will show you what I've done. My request of you is to learn and where it is relevant, apply it and figure out how it applies in your unique situation. And for the record, sometimes maybe the answer is it doesn't. Now, today I'm going to talk a lot about goals. Now, I know there are some people out there who have differences of opinions on goals. And the reality is, I'm not here to debate whether goals are meaningful or goals help. My experience is when I have a written goal and I'm clear on it, I accomplish it. If I have something that isn't written down or that isn't clearly laid out as a goal, yeah, sometimes I get there, sometimes I don't. But the thing is, whatever you need to do to focus, find that and use it. Now, for me personally, I'm not saying it works for everyone. Smart goals are the way to be. Now, because I'm me, I also decided we needed smarter goals. So I'm going to use what works for me. You can use definitions. And if you just Google the phrase SMART goals, SMART, you'll find all kinds of different views, different platforms. Again, I'm not here for everyone. I'm here for my community, and this is what worked for me. So, SMARTER is an acronym for specific, meaningful, achievable, relevant, time bound, evaluate, and readjust. So, most SMART goals start with specific, meaningful, achievable, relevant, and time bound. I've added the evaluate and readjust. Now, I assume that that's implied in SMART goals, but I wanted to make it specific because I'm very literal. So let's talk about the acronym. So, first and foremost, a good SMART goal has to be specific. And honestly, I don't think you can be too specific, but you need to be specific. What exactly are you looking to change, improve? How can you measure it? And basically, specific is the important piece because it provides the target that our brains are going to aim for. If we don't have clear, if we're obscure or we're not specific, we'll easily get distracted. And again, I can't say this enough. Don't be afraid to be too specific and share with your friends, share with your colleagues, and ask them one question. Is my specific goal clear? This is something you should be able to tell your partner at home or your colleagues at work, and they should understand it and go, got it. Okay. Step two is M for meaningful. And basically, this is why this goal matters to you. And I've seen other uses of M, but for me, I'm using meaningful because if I don't care about the why, I don't care about the goal. So you want to set goals that you must achieve, not, it'd be nice to have. It's, I must achieve this. And what that does is it creates motivation from you for you when you're distracted or tired or there's competing tension. You could say, no, this doesn't get me closer to my goal. I'm not going to do it. So answer the question, what specifically does this goal and its achievement mean to you, those around you, to your business? And is this goal important enough to motivate you in times of adversity? Again, what I see the difference between successful people and people who struggle, successful people, they see struggle in life as inevitable. They see it as a lesson and they use it as feedback to improve their results. So sometimes, I think it was Winston Churchill said, when you're going through hell, keep going. Meaningful is what's going to keep you, get you out of bed in the morning and keep you putting one foot in front of the other towards your goal. Now, step three is A for achievable, and set goals that you can achieve within your desired time frame. So, for example, to build a $1 billion company, that's an admirable goal. But if you say within the next month, probably not achievable. Now, what I would say to that, and again, this is not about lowering your goals to be um, easy to achieve. These should feel like stretch goals. We want to we want to stretch ourselves. We want to challenge ourselves, but maybe you set smaller short-term goals. You know, if you're brand new and you're going to launch $1 billion company, first thing you got to do is figure out your brand, figure out your audience, um, and obviously you need to close your first sale. That might be your 30-day goal, is to close my first sale. Maybe your first year goal is to get to 1 million. Maybe your second year goal is to figure out how to get to 10 million. Maybe third year goal is 100 million. Fourth year, billion. I don't know. But I do know that if you set a goal of 0 to 1 billion in 30 days, you will fail and you'll beat yourself up and you'll never try again. But always set these stretch goals that build momentum and help you build to your larger long-term goals. Now, step 4R is relevant. And this is, I think, where a lot of people struggle. If your goals don't match your core values, you will not achieve them. It's physically, mentally, psychologically impossible to violate our core values and succeed. So align your core values with your goal, or more importantly, align your goal with your core values. So ask yourself, what do you want out of life? And what does success look like to you? And here's where a lot of people fail. If your version of success is impact and helping people, if you're building a for-profit entity that doesn't help people and you make money on their suffering, you're going to fall apart over and over. And ask yourself, do I need to succeed to be happy, or can I be happily succeeding? And there is a difference, because if you need to succeed to be happy, you're probably not setting the right goals. Whereas if you're happy while you're succeeding and building your success, you've probably got the right goal that matches your core values. Now, step 5 is T for time bound. Set limits, set timelines. When exactly will you achieve the goal? And what I like to do, I'm obsessed with the 100-day sprints. So I break my goals into 100 days. A lot of people like quarterly, so they'll have 3-month intervals. But think about, what can I realistically and challenge myself, but realistically and challenging myself, achieve in the next 3 months or 100 days. And find a way to hold yourself accountable. This is the other secret. If you're not accountable, the minute you hit a speed bump, you're going to go, I didn't need to do it anyways. So break your big 3-month goal, or for me, I use the 100-day and the sprints. Hold yourself accountable and set goals that you can achieve and measure in daily, weekly, and monthly. So most people fail to plan. That's a cliche, but the reality is, if you don't plan, you might as well plan to fail. So we fail to plan, or we plan to fail. Personally, I would rather plan. And always have some metric where you can understand, how close am I to achieving my goals. Now, I've not seen this anywhere else, but I've added step 6. E is evaluate. And basically, that is a daily check in. You have some key performance indicators. You know what success looks like. You know what your activities are. So every day you need to evaluate your goals. And if we don't evaluate them at least daily, we're going to forget about them. So I want you to make this a daily habit, and I'll share an index card system in a minute. But basically, it doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to take a lot of time. It just needs to be done daily. So the question I ask myself is, am I getting closer to my goal? Yes or no? And if the answer is yes, could I improve that? If the answer is no, what should I be doing differently? What should I be doing better? i.e., how can I improve that? So you'll notice evaluate is always about, how can I improve? How can I optimize? How can I get better results? And then last step is kind of the R stands for readjust, but it also applies to repeat. If you're running into brick walls, make sure you readjust your method and your techniques. Now, the secret here is it's almost always a problem of focus or accountability or activities. So if you're not doing the right activities to meet your goal, you can't hope to succeed. If you're not holding yourself accountable to make sure you're doing the activities, you can't hope to succeed. So you always want to look and see, am I doing the right activities? Am I doing enough of them? Am I doing them consistently? And again, I'm not saying abandon what works, but if something's not working, try a different approach. So, as I said, in Evaluate, we need to understand, are we tracking our progress? Are we getting closer to our goal? Could we do better? Now, one thing I think Tony Robbins first said this, I've never validated it, but I loved it. The reality is, when if you're on an airplane, they're off course something like 95% of the time, but the pilots make continual adjustments so that magically they can fly from New York to LA and land on a tiny strip because they keep adjusting their course. And I think that's the challenge with a lot of businesses. They don't track their goals, they don't track their progress. So it's really easy to drift 1 or 2 degrees off course every day. And by the end of the year, you're way off course. So I'm going to share a template that you can fill in. But the last thing I want to share, and this was credited to Jerry Seinfeld and how he worked on his comedy. As I understand it, he had a simple index card system, and basically he had 7 boxes that were drawn in ink on the top of an index card. And on the bottom of the card, so the boxes are in ink. At the bottom of the card, he used pencil, and he would write his 3 proven actions on the bottom. And he would block off 15 to 20 minutes every morning to take action. And as you do it, mark your action as complete by checking or Xing the box in pencil on your index card, and ask at least one person to hold you accountable. So, in theory, and again, I work with entrepreneurs, so I assume you're going to do something 7 days a week on your business. It might as well be stuff that moves your business forward. What are the 3 activities that you need to do consistently to make your business better? So that's the index card system. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that, but your goal is every week you should have, 7 boxes checked, and, maybe have a wall calendar where you give yourself a check mark for every week. But the goal is to maintain streaks of doing the 3 things that matter the most to your business every single day. And again, this should give you time, not cost you time, because you're focusing on your 3 most important things. And I would say the KISS principle applies here. Keep it super simple. So I'm going to give you 2 overly simplified examples, but I know you can see this in and of itself. Example 1 is increase annual fees from existing clients by 25% within the next 6 months by offering a cash flow club service as a new product for our existing clients. So you can see that's clear. It covers the SMART goal. And then obviously the ER, we're going to evaluate results. Are we getting that client revenue growth that we wanted? The second example is increase new staff productivity within 6 months by mandating cash flow club certification within first 30 days of hire. So we want to onboard our new staff. We want to make sure they're highly efficient, highly effective. Now I'm going to share and I will share this online as well, so you can do this. I created a Smarter Goals worksheet. You're welcome to print it and use it yourself. But basically, my advice to you and what I do is every 100 days, I set one new smarter goal. You can do more than that, but the reality is I'd rather really, really crush one goal then kind of touch on a whole bunch of others. So what I do is every 100 days, I have a priority. I take a few days off between to plan and evaluate so that over the course of a year, I do three 100-day sprints with roughly three 20-some day breaks in between. But what that does is it allows me to focus on the top priority for the next 90 days, next 100 days. And really, truly, it helps me keep focused. And I would say, honestly, if you don't have goals, if you don't have targets, you don't have objectives, you're really at the whims of and mercy of random chance and events. So if you don't have smarter goals, I highly encourage you take some time and seriously block off maybe an hour and just work on this until you're really happy with it. And I haven't talked about this, but we will over time pick your top three activities that if you do those every single day, your business grows no matter what else you do in the day. So I appreciate you all, and I'd love your comments and feedback on the video. Thank you.